Buddha gives us a beautiful teaching to clarify on something which I have come across in my own life from spiritual teachers and also from meditation teachers, saying that the state of the mind at the time of death will decide your future destination. But Buddha gives a different perspective to the whole thing. Let's get into the teaching itself. Here, Buddha's cousin Mahānāma, he comes to meet the Buddha. Buddha at that time was living in a big city or a town called Kapilavatthu. He comes, pays respect to the Buddha and tells to the Buddha, Bhante, I come and visit you and other monks almost every day, and I go back home very late. And when I go back home, there's so much of fear in my mind because the city or town of Kapilavatthu is so big, so busy, and when I go back so late, I'm always afraid if some danger can come to me. And when I have so much of fear in my mind, that time, because Mahānāma is a very spiritual person and his faith is with the Buddha, Dhamma and the Saṅgha. And he says that I am not able to recollect my Buddha, Dhamma and the Saṅgha at that time. My fear is what would happen to me, what would happen to if I die with that kind of a mind which is confused with fear and without recollecting all the spiritual things which I would like to keep in my mind. Then Buddha says, Mahānāma, don't worry, because when I look at you, when I look at the way you have lived your life, you have lived a life. He talks about 5 wonderful qualities with which Mahānāma lives his life. He says, you have lived a life inspired by faith, ethics, which is morality, learning, generosity, and wisdom. When I look at your life, you have lived such a wonderful life with such wonderful spiritual qualities. For someone like you, it is true that you could have a very tragic death and your body could be eaten by jackals or crows. But your mind will only rise up because this is such a wonderful mind with such wonderful spiritual qualities. Then Buddha goes on to give a very, very beautiful simile. He says that suppose someone takes a pot full of ghee or oil, immerses it in a deep lake and breaks the pot. The pieces of the pot will break and those pieces will sink down, but the ghee or the oil will rise up. The same way, your mind, which is imbued, which is inspired by such wonderful spiritual quality, and you have lived such a good life, your mind will only rise up and go to a very good destination. So he reassures Mahānāma that you do not have to really worry about how your mind is at the moment of death, because you have lived a wonderful life. It was very inspiring for me, because even for my own self, it is impossible to know how my death would come. And it is also almost impossible to predict how my state of mind would be at that moment. But if I am able to live a life with all these wonderful qualities, then definitely Buddha guarantees that the future destination will only be a good destination. It is so inspiring to share this Buddha's teaching, because when Buddha clarifies on these points, it gives us so much of confidence. And this teaching comes in the linked discourses of the Buddha, and the number is SN 55.21. I have pasted the entire teaching in the description below, and also I have put a link to the free book. It's so nice and inspiring to share Buddha's teaching with you. I hope it's helpful for you. Thank you so much.